Welcome to Sideline Picks. My name is Chris, and I'm here with my co-host Gary. Thank you for joining us for today's episode. Let's jump right into Week 3 review. All right, Gary, we got another week of the NFL season under our belt. It feels like it's going way too fast because before we know it, we're going to be crying because the NFL's done and both of our teams are not in the playoffs. So, because neither one of our teams are going to the Super Bowl, and you know that.
Nah, debatable.
Okay,
I think I will say though, I think this week was finally like there was some upsets and some games you didn't expect to go
barely.
one way or another, but it wasn't as crazy as the first couple weeks we've seen.
So, we tell you guys that we are going to keep up with our picks throughout the season. We're actually not doing too bad considering that last week, so for week 3, me and Gary both went 7-9. So
it was horrible.
It was horrible. It was in the early window, we were like losing terribly. Like we were doing so bad on our picks. But for the first 3 weeks of the season, Gary is 26-22, and I am 22-26. I don't think that's that bad.
I mean, you put us together, that's pretty good.
Considering
that's
that
500.
Considering that I picked Seattle to win on multiple occasions and the Broncos to win on multiple occasions, I think we're not doing too shabby. So, just like last week's episode, our kind of week 3 review, we're not going to go deep down into everybody's, who lost, who won. Obviously, we'll mention it here and there. There were some really good games about who, I would say one of the good games was Jags at Chargers. That actually leads me into my first question for Gary for the week is, are the Jags for real? Actually, just kidding. Sorry. That's not the question. Will the Jags win their division is the question.
Well, I think I'm going to answer both questions. I think the Jags are, really for real. I'm still, and I am going to be that guy. I'm still not.
Yeah, we already know. Not sold on Trevor Lawrence.
Sold on Trevor Lawrence.
I already
know.
No. But
I think he's taking advantage of the opportunities that he has. So and the receivers and stuff that he has too.
Okay, I want to say something. I know you're not completely sold on Trevor Lawrence, but his stats going into after the first 3 weeks are a 69.4 completion percentage, 772 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 103 rating. That's not just, and his rating would be so much better. Again, like I said in game 1, he had multiple receivers drop touchdowns. So
yeah,
I think the biggest thing that has helped Trevor Lawrence is a coach. A coach that's not Urban Meyer.
No, I don't even think it has to do with the coach. I think he has weapons. I don't think he had anybody last year. Look, who's he throwing to that he threw to last year?
Last year didn't he have? He had Marvin Jones last year. He had Chenault last year, who was not bad. He still had James Robinson last year. Who else?
He's not throwing to anybody that he used to throw to last year. Marvin Jones is there, but Marvin Jones isn't getting the ball like
he just got Christian Kirk. That's it.
Yeah, he got Christian Kirk. He got Zay Jones. Zay Jones had 85 yards and a touchdown last week.
All right, so
I think the weapons are there. I think to answer your question, though, I think they will win the division because the Colts are not taking the Colts. I'm not even going to get into the Colts. Colts are the most annoying team in the NFL right now, and it's just like they don't even suck. They're just annoying.
Yeah.
I look at them. I'm like, dude, you guys are just so annoying. Like when they beat the Chiefs by 3 points, I was like, how do you lose to the Jags, get shut out by the Jags, tie with the Texans, and then beat the Chiefs by 3 points?
And I've got something
trash.
I've got something to say about the Chiefs and the Colts. I feel like the Chiefs and every really good team has those games where it looks like they're like playing around with the other team, and then they end up slipping up and losing, but then they come out the very next week and smoke the next team they're playing.
They won't do that this week.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about that in just a little bit.
You heard it here first, people.
Yeah. But I feel like the Chiefs, honestly, they didn't take the game serious, and that's the only reason the Colts won. But, yes, the Colts are hot trash.
Think, though, if you look at the Jags, they have a much tougher schedule the rest of the way. So you look, they got the Eagles next week, Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, Titans, Cowboys, all in a row. That's a tough 5-game stretch. And then they finish it off with the Jets, Texans, Titans. So I think they'll win their division, but they're gonna have to win at least a couple games in that tough stretch.
Yeah, and that 5-span stretch, I think they at least have to win 2 of them, which I still think they can. I mean, they came out last week and smoked the Chargers. It wasn't even close. It was 38-10, I think. So
I do think that Justin Herbert's injury has a little bit to play with that, though, because he sold the game. Like he fumbled in the red zone.
But here's the thing: the defense. Justin Herbert doesn't play defense. The defense of the Chargers let up 38 points.
When you set up an offense in the red zone, your goal is just to not let up a touchdown.
Dude, you just do not want to get Trevor Lawrence any credit at all.
No, it's not that I don't want to give him any credit.
Look at this man's stats, dude. His stats are good. It's not like
if you look at the play-by-play, okay, the Jags had a downs. And then he threw a pick on the chart. The ball got returned to the Chargers 15, so immediately in the red zone. They got a field goal out of it, so they went 4 plays, 0 yards. And then the next one, he fumbled again on the Chargers 28. And right there,
he's got like 5 broken ribs, man. His ribs are gone. But still, that doesn't change.
Quarterback in the NFL 2 free red zone trips. Of course, they're going to do.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that he had 262 yards and 3 touchdowns and was 28 for 39. So, no, dude, I do agree that he is. I do think that the Jags are probably going to win the division pretty easily because, like you said, the only team that I think gives them any competition is the Titans, and I don't even know what the identity of the Titans is.
Well, I think we're all immediately, again, it's only finished up week 3. I think we're all immediately ruling out the Colts, even though that's not super realistic. I mean, you've seen what Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl. Jonathan Taylor had the rushing title last year. I mean, they have a team that's capable of bouncing back. So what can happen that would screw them up is if the Jags got comfortable with their division lead and just started losing stupid.
I think if the Jags can go in and beat the Eagles next week, which
it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna.
Well, you said that about the Chargers too, but I think if the Jags go in and do beat the Eagles next week, I think that just not because they won their 4th game of the season, but I think it's just the fact that it is the Eagles, and that would be a team. I think they're going to give them a run for their money easily. They're not just going to roll over.
I think that the Eagles are the number 1 Super Bowl contender right now.
Really?
Just, dude, name one part of their team that's not complete.
But okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So,
I know, but I'm just saying. Like,
well, I'm talking
crazy
about this later. So, all right, go ahead.
Well, let me transition the question into another quarterback for you. I want to know what you think a little bit about Kyler Murray. Is he the future for the Cardinals, or what's your thoughts on him?
No, he's not, and here's why. Kyler Murray is starting to get figured out by a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of defenses, and okay, Gary. So I saw this stat the other day on Instagram, and listen, it could be true, it could not be true, but the whole thing with Kyler Murray, how like they basically, his whole thing is video games, and he was getting in trouble for not studying. They
literally put a
clause in there that said he had
clause in the contract that said he had to watch.
So they said on the weekends that Call of Duty is double XP, Kyler Murray is like 1-19 or something like that, dude.
It was 0 and 20 something and 1.
Was that it? Okay.
He has not won, yeah.
On the weekends that Call of Duty is 2 times XP. That's what it is. And so I say that obviously that's jokingly, and there's
no such thing as coincidence as 23 times though.
There's not. Here's why. So you're clearly seeing that the quote unquote franchise quarterback, your star person on the team, who is you're supposed to build around, is not taking his study and his evolution of the game serious. Why would you want to keep him in that position any longer? Because he's not winning you games. You got embarrassed by the Chiefs, and then you go out. Well, you barely beat the Raiders. You beat the Raiders because the Raiders suck. Just gonna be honest. And then you go out and lose. Who'd they play last week? Oh, hold on. They played let me look at it real quick. they played last week. Oh man, I'm trying to find it real quick.
For the Rams.
Yeah, they played the Rams and got beat, and we know that the Rams are not.
The score doesn't do the Rams justice.
It doesn't.
Either. The Rams were all over them the whole game.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think he is, and I don't know what he's got to do to show me that he is going to be the face of and the future.
I think he's immature. I think he's professionally immature.
Yeah, I mean, again, which you see the fact that, the stat about the Call of Duty weekend. I do think, and everybody beefed the Raiders or the Cardinals organization when they put that clause in. I think they ended up taking it out because everybody was saying something. It was
embarrassing.
It was, but there was a reason they put that in there. It's not like they put it in there. They don't put that in random people's contract, in other people's contracts. They put it specifically in his contract because they knew this was an issue. And I think when, like you said, it was embarrassing, people started finding out, they had to remove it. But clearly them removing it has not worked. They're 1-2 for the season.
You pay somebody $200-something million.
$200 million. That's a lot of money.
Like anybody. I mean, you think, obviously, like my outside of the podcast, like I run a store, I manage a store. Like, you think in the professional environment, right? Like, you pay somebody like the CEO of Walmart or somebody of super significant importance. You pay him tens of millions of dollars. Dude, the contract that you give them, like, you're going to know everything about these people. I mean, like, any issue they have is going to be contractually negotiated, whether it's something they can fix or not. So for them, they're paying this guy $200 million plus and expecting him to be the face of the franchise, and they got to put a clause in there that he's going to watch film. Yeah, like, how does that make any sense?
And I think something too that, to go along with what you're saying, is this is starting to become more and more prevalent in professional sports. It's all about the money, and you're starting to get guys that forget that this is a job. Okay, I remember when Marshawn Lynch, great player, funny guy, but I remember when he refused to do interviews, and there were some people who were like, sorry guys, my dog's barking in the background. There were some people, and I was one of these people, that were like, this is his job, is to do interviews. And he was refusing to do interviews. They don't understand that you play in the NFL. Yes, you play at a high level of sports, but it's still your job. You have a contract.
Yeah, but I see where you're going with the Marshawn Lynch thing. I didn't view it that way. I felt like this guy gets paid to score touchdowns, not to tell me what he thinks about it.
But if you look in his contract, though, it specifically says in those contracts that they will answer media questions. But what I'm saying is, they're forgetting that their job is to play football and win games, not do whatever you want, take hundreds of millions of dollars from people and play Call of Duty.
They're privileged. I mean, it's the same thing you see everywhere else. They're very privileged.
And there's only some of them that are that way. You see some people that are willing to take pay cuts for their team. You see people that want their team to success. But like you said, I think the perfect phrase is he's professionally immature.
Well, most of them are old school too.
Yeah.
And look at the guys who take the pay cuts.
Yep.
Like, most of them are old school. I think the other thing too is I think that the business of the NFL is so geared around, like, you can get more here, you can do more here. Like, you think of all sports. I mean, there never even used to be like free agency.
Yeah.
Guys would just be drafted to a team and they'd just play for it.
Yep.
I mean, even baseball is like that. Like, it's so money hungry that they don't really even care if the guy's the future. They just want to make a statement.
Yeah, not anymore. So, to go along with what you're saying, one of the things is, and I'm almost positive it's Dennis Schroeder. So, he got offered a contract last year, and this is NBA. He got offered a contract last year for like $100-something million. He turned it down to go somewhere else to make more money. And guess where he's at right now? On the Lakers, making $2 million a year. He got offered a $100 million contract, but it shows it's all about, can I go somewhere else? And not can I go somewhere else and make a difference, but can I go somewhere else and make more money? But there are guys...
not even a championship. They don't even care about the
They don't. They care about the money. And I understand. You got to provide. You clearly have a lavish lifestyle because, you are a celebrity, but you got to go and win games. You got to go and play. So I do not think that Kyler Murray, unless for some reason he stops playing Call of Duty and they break his Xbox, I don't think that he's going to be the face of the franchise. He's too immature, and I think people are going to start seeing that he's too immature. So I'm going to say my second question. Why are the Raiders 0-3?
Because of Derek Carr. I said this. So I'm going to tell you, and you guys heard me before. I like Derek Carr. Okay? I think he's a good quarterback. I think he cares. He's very passionate. But I think the problem is he just can't win, man.
He can't.
Like, it's not like I don't even know statistically how you would prove that, you know? I mean, besides showing obviously his wins and losses, but he just can't finish. We said this in week 1. We were like, he threw 3 picks. Like, you have every weapon you need now. And now this past week, he loses 22-24. Every single one of his games is coming down to him getting lucky at the last minute. Dude, Devonte Adams, 5 catches, 36 yards.
That's crazy.
I mean, like, he had a touchdown, which is great. Like, so what that tells me though is Mac Hollins, he utilized in a good way. 8 receptions, 158 yards. Darren Waller only got the ball 3 times. Like, at what point do we go, okay, you have Darren Waller, which is probably a top 5 tight end in the league. You have Devonte Adams, which I think anybody could argue, and I'm not big on picking, like, the number 1 unless they're goated. But, like, you could argue Devonte Adams has the best hands in the league, right next to DeAndre Hopkins.
He's got last year, like, his route running is next level as well.
Just overall, him and I'm a big Mike Evans fan as a Bucs fan, but, like, overall, Devonte Adams and maybe DeAndre Hopkins, best wide receiver in the league. And, again, nothing. Foster Moreau had more receiving yards than Devonte Adams. And then some rando named Mac Hollins comes in and gets 150 yards. But to me, I look at him like he threw a pick. He has not executed in a way that's designed to win. And the problem is, I mean, you could blame the Raiders defense, right? It's super easy to blame the Raiders defense.
Well, especially after their loss to the Cardinals in week 2.
But, dude, I think that the Raiders from the top down are horrible. You've seen them. They remind me a lot of, like, the Giants. Okay, the Giants are doing good this year, but the Giants as an organization, like from a management perspective, are just horrible.
Browns are the same way.
Browns same way. Like, you have those teams in the league that just, like, make the
Houston for like 5 years.
Yeah, like, it's just I mean, you saw what they gave up to get Khalil Mack. You saw what they gave Khalil Mack up for. And now those guys some of the guys they got aren't even around.
And not even that you gave him up. You gave him up, or I don't remember if he got traded or he left, but
they traded him
to a divisional opponent in the Chargers to team him up.
No, they traded him to the Bears, I think, and then he signed with the Chargers.
Okay, that's why. So he went back to the Bears. Well, anyways,
but he ended up going back to the Chargers. Now he plays against you. Nice job.
Yeah, and you allowed him to do that because you have a habit of getting rid of really good people.
But, I mean, what you saw in Antonio Brown has obviously got his own issues, but you saw the way that went out. You saw the way the John Gruden situation fell out. Like, the management in general is just not, like, what are we doing?
Not very good.
I don't understand what the thought process is.
Yeah.
But I do think on the field, it comes down to Derek Carr, and that's why they're not winning games on the field. But I don't think management is setting up the organization. And I think you're going to continue to see that. You have the Raiders, like we said. You have, like, the Browns are a team like that. The Giants are a team like that. Recently, obviously the Giants won a Super Bowl in the past 20 years. But recently, the Giants have made stupid decisions like that. It's just it's tough to watch. And I could never be a Raiders fan just because I would just get too frustrated.
And, dude, they have, like, the craziest fans besides the Bills.
100%. But we'll transition into a lot of quarterback questions this week.
All right.
A lot of stuff going around quarterbacks. Obviously, it's one of the most important positions on the team. As a Cowboys fan, I want you to tell me if you think Cooper Rush has the ability and it's even remotely possible for him to replace Dak.
Okay. So, My dad says that I'm a Dak Prescott fanboy. That's not true. I just look at the stats. So
You are a Prescott fanboy.
so let's look at the stat. I don't want to hear it, dude. You're a Tom Brady fanboy. When he's at the
100%.
Bucks,
He plays for the Bucks.
So
I'm a Bucks fanboy, but Tom Brady's a GOAT.
So here's what I'm gonna look at some stats for Dak real quick. So, and again, I'm looking at the stats. It's not like I'm, looking at other things. He's, for his career, again, this is including this year, which obviously his first game was awful. 66.4 completion percentage, 22,000 yards, 143 touchdowns, 98.2 rating. Last year, he had almost 4,500 yards, 68% completion rating, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 104.2 quarterback rating. I want to bring up something, and this is going to answer the question. I just didn't want to answer it right off the bat. So, you look at Tony Romo, and Tony Romo had, great stats, but Tony Romo couldn't finish. And this is not me giving an excuse for how Dak plays sometimes, because there are times where what Dak does makes no sense. But look who his his coach has been and is. It's not like he went from Jason Garrett to Sean Payton or Bruce Arians or, Matt LaFleur. He didn't go to that. He went to Mike McCarthy. There's a reason that Mike McCarthy was fired from the Packers while Aaron Rodgers is still the quarterback. And he had Aaron Rodgers for how many years? And they won one Super Bowl. And so Jerry Jones just thought, well, I'm going to be able to take this guy who sat in the basement all year and told everybody he watched film. I'm going to be able to take him and let him take the team that I have with Dak and Zeke and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Dalton Schultz and, Pollard and DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, all these people. And I'm going to let him, who hasn't won a Super Bowl in years, he is still a Super Bowl winning coach, but he also had Aaron Rodgers, which is kind of a cheat code. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that Cooper Rush is going to be able to take Dak's job, and here's why. The first thing is the money. Cooper Rush doesn't get paid to be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott does. We all know how that is. This isn't a, Tom Brady in 2000 when what's-his-face got hurt and when Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady had to go in. This isn't that. This is, and I've said it a couple times, and this is no shade to Cooper Rush. What he has done for Dallas the past 2 games has been awesome. Okay? Cooper Rush, this is what he does so well. He knows how to make the big plays when we need them. You know what I'm saying? He's a very good game manager. I mean, Pollard had 103 yards. Zeke had 78 and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb had 87 or something like that and a touchdown. Yes, he did have a wide open drop. Cooper Rush had very good plays, but my question is, and with any backup or any quarterback like Geno Smith, any quarterback, Case Keenum, Carson Wentz, all these people who've kind of floated around the league, can Cooper Rush extend the play, and is it going to last? That's my question. He's 3-0 in his starts, which is absolutely amazing. But can he continue to do that? That's the question. And I don't know the answer to that.
I have some stats for you. And so is your dad, does he want Cooper Rush to come in, or is he tired of Dak?
My dad's tired of Dak, yes.
All right. Well, listen, you're going to appreciate me a little more because I'm going to give you some stats. I'm starting to gear towards Cooper Rush, okay? So I'm looking at his career, obviously 3-0, right?
Yeah.
And it hasn't lost yet, which is cool. But he has – my thing with quarterbacks, and we see this with like the guy we just talked about, Derek Carr, is their ability to not only control the pace of the game, but to control the ball possession. Okay? So obviously they can't control if their running back or their wide receiver fumbles. But the quarterback is usually the primary reason that the ball is turned over. Whether they put a guy in traffic, he gets smoked and fumbles. Whether they throw it and it gets tipped off the hand, they throw it wrong and it's picked. Whatever it is, Cooper Rush has thrown 1 interception, 3 starts. He has 5 touchdowns and 1 pick. He is not a guy that turns the ball over a lot. And so for me, I look at Dak, right? Dak came out week 1 against the Bucs. Now, the Bucs are a good team. Don't get me wrong. Like, as far as defensively, obviously offensively we got some issues, but the Bucs defense is good. But he threw a pick he looked horrible all game. He looked like, I mean, there was at least 3 passes before he threw that pick that should have been intercepted. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he looked rough the whole game, and then he turned the ball over, and then he got hurt.
So
Cooper Rush, I haven't seen, I mean, there's maybe a couple times every game where the defense can take the ball, but I haven't seen that same, oh man, he's going to throw a pick this game, guaranteed. I haven't seen that same mentality.
Here's what I want to say. Okay, I look at Nick Foles. You cannot agree. Nick Foles, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic baby. And they've done the same thing. They go in, they play great for a couple games, and what happens? They get offered a big contract or a contract by a team, and they can't perform. Nick Foles did the same thing. Nick Foles went and won them a Super Bowl. Okay? He played the last half of the season, won them a Super Bowl. Then he went to the Bears and was garbage. I actually...
Well, I think the thing is...
But hold on. Let me finish real quick. You can't take a 3-0 start as a backup quarterback and compare it to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I would really say 5 years with Prescott getting hurt, last year or 2 years ago. And you look at Prescott's in 2020 when he got hurt. Okay? It was the third game of the season. He was leading the league in receiving yards. He was actually leading, or passing yards. He was actually leading the league in passing yards for most. There was like 10 quarterbacks that were under him until like week 8. Okay, he was leading the league in passing yards. In week 3, he had almost 2,000, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and almost 100 rating. Okay, then you go into 2021. He had one of his best year really, with yards and touchdowns. And we can't, I just don't think it's fair to take one game against, like we said, one of the top 2 defenses in the league. Because y'all's secondary was not like it was last year. What people did was they wanted to take how Dak played last year against the Bucs in game 1 and said he's got to play this. Y'all's safeties and corners are much better. I don't think you can take a game that, again, we're playing the best defense in the league and say, well, maybe Cooper Rush, because, again, there's no shade to Cooper Rush. But he has played the Bengals defense and he has played the Giants defense. Okay? Those 2 defenses are totally different. And then, he also played the Vikings defense last year. Those defenses are totally different from the Bucs defense. Week 1, Sunday Night Football, first game.
Dude, I think your dad's right, dude.
But what you're saying, how he's right.
I think you're a Dak
but think about
fanboy.
it. But I'm giving stats though. It's not like what you're trying to say is, and I think it doesn't make any sense, is a 3-0 start over a couple, 1 last year, 2 this year.
If I was Jerry Jones, let me get a thought out before I forget it. If I was Jerry Jones, what I would do is this clearly, because dude, they never acknowledge. They're very political with how they acknowledge, like, the temperature in the locker room. You know what I'm trying to say. I would use this to either light a fire under Dak, so that he becomes a winner, or I would hold Dak out longer, whether it's like maybe 2 more games. They say, we want to make sure his finger's good. We don't want him to get hurt.
Which I agree they should do.
Then see how Cooper Rush does in these next couple games. Yeah. Because you guys are playing. Who do you play next?
Play Washington, which I hope they keep him out versus Washington. And then we play the Rams and the Eagles. Rams and Eagles. So here's my thing.
I would keep Dak out until after the Eagles game, because
absolutely not.
Cooper Rush,
absolutely not.
Dude, listen. No, listen. This is smart, dude. This is like big brain thought right here. If you keep him out after the Eagles game, you're not going to be, let's say he goes in to the Rams game, chokes in the Eagles game, absolutely sucks. Right? What's your record going to be? 4-3. You bring Dak in, you're in a horrible division.
3-3, I think, right? Because we're 2-1.
3-3. Yes, 3-3. So you'd be 500. You're in a horrible division, except for Philly. We've already pretty much acknowledged that Philly's going to win the division. Correct? So, what are you going for at this point? Are you going for the future, or are you going to try and win this division?
Here's the thing: the future is not Cooper Rush. We've seen this too many times. I would say even Andy Dalton. The future cannot be a quarterback that comes in again. Nick Foles is a perfect example. Nick Foles took over as a starter and had, halfway through the season, had amazing stats.
But dude, they never really gave. You see this with all of them. When Carson Wentz came back from his injury, that was it. They said, "Carson, you're back and roll."
Oh,
And
no,
they
hold
moved
on. No, they didn't. Nick Foles went to another team and got a better pay grade. It wasn't them putting...
He did that because they told him he wasn't going to start.
Let's see, Nick Foles
That's why
stats.
he did that. Same thing happened with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Jameis Winston got hurt. Even Deshaun Jackson came out and said, "We want Ryan Fitzpatrick to stay at quarterback because he's doing good." And they sent him away.
He went to Miami. He went to Miami, played a couple good games
with a horrible O-line.
They kept two out. It doesn't matter. He still played. But so what you're trying to tell me right now is that these guys, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Nick Foles, that they haven't been given the right opportunity.
These guys, Drew Bledsoe, for example, Ryan Fitzpatrick, all these guys historically get the short end of the stick. That's what happens every time. Ryan Fitzpatrick he was old, so of course they're not going to try and put a team on his back when he's old. So like with Miami, they wanted Tua, even though Tua was not good enough to start over Ryan at that time. Tua was trash at that time. Everybody was saying that he was going to be a bust. And then same thing with Jameis Winston, 30 picks, 30 touchdowns. He now sucks for the Saints. And then you look at Drew Bledsoe. I mean, Tom Brady came in and Tom Brady's the GOAT, which is great. But Drew Bledsoe could have led a team to a championship game as well, and he did with Buffalo for a little bit.
I got some stats for you before we move into the next thing. Nick Foles, you can't say he wasn't given an opportunity. He was at Philly first 3 years of his career. One of the years he actually played pretty decent. He had 13 games. Played 13 games, 10 games started, 8.5 touchdowns. I think that's the year they actually went to the playoffs. So you can't say that he wasn't. He was 3 years in Philly, went to the Steelers, went to Kansas City.
1 year he got an opportunity.
Hold on. 3 years at Philly, 1 year at the Steelers, started 11 games, went 4-7. He went to Kansas City, only played 1 game, 1-0. Philly. Went to Jacksonville, was the main starter, 0-4. Went to Chicago, was the main starter, 2-5.
Got hurt both seasons.
He didn't get hurt in the year. He was 2-5.
He got hurt in Jacksonville. He tore his shoulder.
Hold on, I'm trying to close something out. 2-5. But Gary, I mean, you're not getting a guy that has this amazing winning record. You're getting a guy that, again, one of these quarterbacks, and this is no shade to Cooper Rush, but you know how these franchise quarterbacks work in the NFL. You don't draft this guy this high and then say, you know what? Let's get a guy that has been a backup his whole career and let's do a quarterback controversy. That's just not how that works in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Because then at the same time, because again, you're looking at Dak's stats and Dak's stats are among some of the best stats year per year. Dak's got hurt. Dak was out a whole season. You know what I'm saying? And before that, he was leading the league in almost every category. Dak got hurt last year.
Dak's just not a winner, though, dude. He's like Derek Carr.
Dak's winning percentage is a lot better than Derek Carr's. Derek Carr's was 51-73.
Yeah, but I mean, how far have you guys gone with Dak? One NFC Championship game in 7 years?
Hold on.
Or two? 1 or 2?
Let's see. Let's just tell me 1 year. But anyways, it would be foolish of the Cowboys, and they're not going to at least this year, to say, you know what? Let's basically see what games we can lose with Cooper Rush, because he's going in and playing two very good defenses.
Dak Prescott is 1-3 in the playoffs in his career. He's garbage in the playoffs.
Let's look and see who his head coaches are.
Come on, dude.
But Gary, you're trying to tell me. Hold on, you're trying to tell me, like, what you've said basically when I talked about Jacksonville is that head coaches don't matter. Look at Miami.
Hold on. That this guy.
Look at Miami. Look how good Miami's doing. Yes, they got Tyreek Hill, but look how good Miami's doing. Tyreek Hill's the only new piece, except their brand new head coach. All right. Look at the Browns and how decent they've been doing the past couple of years with Stefanski as their offense coordinator. Matt LaFleur, when he took over for when he took over for Mike McCarthy. You look at the Jags right now. Isn't Peterson the Jags coach? It's Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Doug Peterson's a good coach. Mike McCarthy or
the coach,
Matt LaFleur sucks right now.
The coach is the whole atmosphere of the team. Like, you look at Mike McCarthy. You just see from the amount of penalties that we get every game. I think B-Man had a bet that we were going to get 11 to 14. That's because your head coach isn't disciplined and it's not trickling down to everybody else. That's what it is. I mean, there's no other team in the league that gets as many penalties as the daggum Cowboys do, and it's because their head coach is we're here, we're just here to be average. But it's always been that way. When Jason Garrett left the Cowboys because Jerry Jones is too loyal to his coaches, he went to the Giants as an offensive coordinator and got fired the very next year. Now he's on Sunday Night Football smiling at us with that big old ugly head. So you look at how the coaches do.
Dak's overrated, bro.
I didn't say that. Wasn't a question. That wasn't a question.
It's time to move on. You got a guy who's winning. Why change things up?
You got a guy who's played 3 games.
He's winning.
Anyways, dude, you're wild for that.
Dude, he's winning. Dude,
Gary,
7 years, 1-3 in the playoffs. You've been to 1 game past the wild card. Congrats.
Gary, so you're telling me
trash.
You're telling me that if Tom Brady got hurt, and Tom Brady's playing awful football right now. There we
go. Back to Tom Brady.
Hold on. If Tom Brady got hurt, no, I'm seriously. Tom Brady, you cannot tell me Tom Brady's not playing good football because he's not. He's not playing good football.
He sucks right now. No.
Okay,
the defense is
good. If Tom Brady got hurt, and isn't y'all's backup Kyle Trask? Kyle Trask went in.
Blaine Gabbert. I think
Blaine Gabbert. My bad. If Blaine Gabbert went in and went 3-0, you would keep Blaine Gabbert in the rest of the season. Absolutely not. See, look at his face.
Tom Brady's also won 6
100%. But you're talking about this year. You're not talking about
Dak
previous
Prescott's
years.
won 1 playoff game.
Gary,
why would I rely on him to do anything better than Cooper Rush?
You're talking about this year, okay? So you're telling me because right now, with Dak being hurt and Tom Brady not playing very good, if their backups went in and again Blaine Gabbert went in and went 3-0, that you would say they should keep him in.
No, because Tom Brady is probably the greatest quarterback to ever play. Where Dak
he
Prescott
is
has
absolutely
won 1 playoff game.
But Gary, we're
Dak
talking about
Prescott has won 1 playoff game. Why would I rely on him?
We're talking about this year. We're not talking about other years. We're talking about this year.
I think what you've done has an impact on what you are allowed to do.
Absolutely,
so if Dak Prescott has been a winner in his career, which he has not, he sucks. Congratulations, he did great last year. Where'd y'all finish in the playoffs last year?
Lost in the first round. Where'd y'all finish in the first round? Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
y'all did.
Y'all won the Super Bowl.
Y'all finished, but I'm
still
saying
where'd you guys finish the year before?
Dak was hurt the year before. Don't play.
What about the year before that?
Dak was hurt the year before.
Championship game?
We got to the second round of the playoffs. But again, Gary, it's not like y'all have had Bruce Arians for a couple years. And Bruce Arians is a very good head football coach, except when he yells at people.
No, I was going to say, I think Bruce Arians is no longer the head football coach because he was not a very good coach.
Well, he also won y'all a Super Bowl. So, he got the team. He got the team there, and he got the players the way they should be because a head coach does more than you're giving a head coach credit for to win a Super Bowl. So, he's a good coach. He won a Super Bowl. I think he's actually won multiple Super Bowls, actually. Mike McCarthy's won 1.
This was the only Super Bowl that he's won.
Mike McCarthy has won 1 with Aaron Rodgers in 10 years, and Jason Garrett has won none. The only reason Jason Garrett was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is because he played for the Dallas Cowboys as a backup quarterback. That's the only reason. We know the real answer to this whole Dak Prescott Cooper Rush is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the problem. He is too loyal. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if Jerry Jones wasn't as loyal as a owner as he is. He doesn't want to make the hard decisions because I've said it. We need to draft a new quarterback. But Cooper Rush is not the answer. For this year, Dak Prescott is the answer. We need to draft a new quarterback. That's what we need to do because again, like I said, Cooper Rush is one of those guys that is going to, come in, he's going to win some games he needs to. He's going to be a backup quarterback. We need to draft a new quarterback to take Dak's job. I'm not a Dak fanboy. I'm a Dak telling him he needs to play or They need to play him the rest of this year to say, and like you said, light a fire underneath him. Because if not, then we're going to be stuck in the same cycle that we've been stuck in for years with Dak Prescott. So that one took
the smartest thing, like I said, that Jerry Jones could do would be to let Cooper Rush play through the game at Philadelphia.
But what I don't want to happen is, and I was talking to somebody about the whole Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky. I don't want Dak to have another, he comes in the 6th game of the season. He has a stellar, 11 games. You know what that does? That gives Jerry Jones confidence that we should keep him for the next year. I don't want that. I want Dak to come back, and I want Dak to play football. And I want everybody to see, okay, is Dak going to be able to do, to get us to where we need to be or not? I don't want it to where Dak comes in and Dak gets some fire lit underneath him so Dak can look like he's the Dallas Cowboys star franchise quarterback. Because what does that do? We know what that does with Jerry Jones. He keeps him for the next year. We need to draft a new quarterback. So the question was, is Dak going to replace Cooper Rush, or is Cooper Rush going to replace Dak? He shouldn't, because we need to draft a new young quarterback that is going to be able to take this team farther than Dak and Jason Garrett and Dak and Mike McCarthy have been able to take it. So
now that we just spent
20 minutes on the Cowboys, dude. What was your? Oh, I got one question left for you.
Why don't we just save those for, because both of those questions are questions we can transition into next week. Let's jump into the game picks.
That's true. All right, so this one, again, this episode is going to be a little longer. We'll try to run through these game picks quicker.
Most of my game picks should not take more than a couple. I mean, I'm just going to give you guys a quick, 1 or 2 bullet points to score, and then we'll keep it going.
The first one is Dolphins at Bengals. And I've got the Bengals winning. You look at last week.
The Bengals winning against the Dolphins?
So you look at last week, and the honestly, I'm going to say, the Dolphins, if you look at their stats and everything, Tua, I don't even know how Tua was allowed to come back in the game after what happened to him.
He is stumbling, dude.
But the Bengals the Bills shot themselves in the foot. They were given a golden opportunity with the whole butt punt. And they couldn't perform on a stage that they needed to perform on. The Bengals, I think, and this is only if the Bengals are who we thought they were last year. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think they are.
I think Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill is going to smoke Eli Apple. But Joe Mixon in the run game is really good. Devin Singletary lit the Dolphins up last week. I think Joe Mixon can do the same thing. He's the same style running back. Joe Burrow, again, he played decent. I know it was the Jets, but he's getting back on track with not turning the ball over as much as he should. And can that Dolphins secondary stop Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, who all three of them have played very well. So I've got the Bengals winning. I'm not going to give a score for it because it could go.
No score?
No score, dude.
Give me a score, dude. Come on.
It's a 3-point game. That's what I'm going to give you. I don't think the Dolphins are going to score. I don't think the Dolphins are going to score a lot.
Wow, I'm taking the Dolphins. I think they are going to score a lot. The Bengals defense sucks.
It is, but is Tua going to be hurt? Because Tua played awful last week. Awful. He did not. Go look at his stats.
Okay, Dolphins taking this 31-20.
Wow. All right.
Chris is going 4-12 next week.
Because I got the Bengals. Just wait, because you also beefed me for picking the Falcons. They won. You beefed me for picking the Rams. They won.
26-22.
Because you confidently picked the Cardinals to win last week.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
I must have been tired recording that.
All right. What's yours?
Week 4, first pick of the week is Washington at the Cowboys. We just talked about the Cowboys for like 7 years, so I'm just going to make it quick. Cowboys defense is very good. Mm-hmm. You saw what they were able to do last week. So I think they can do it again. And you saw how Carson Wentz reacted to pressure last week as well.
Michael Parsons is about to tear him up.
Not good at all. So Cowboys, I think, take it. I'd be surprised if the Commanders scored a touchdown. So I'm giving Cowboys 17-6.
All right. I think that's fair. All right. I've got Vikings at Saints. I got Vikings winning. I don't even know what the Saints are doing. I really don't. Now, I don't think Dalvin Cook is playing. At least I know he had some injury from last week. But I still think the Vikings win. The Saints just aren't clicking. The Saints right now on paper have
Saints are garbage.
Well,
dude.
here's the thing.
Like hot trash.
If you look on paper, the Saints technically have a better team right now with Dalvin Cook hurt.
Yeah,
they got Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram.
Take the paper, ball it up, and shoot it.
That's what I'm saying. So they're just not doing what they should be. The Vikings have to get Justin Jefferson going because he had like 4 points last week. So I got Vikings. Man, I've got Vikings winning 24-17.
I could see that. I think the only thing I will say is that there's a potential for the Saints to take advantage of the Vikings defense.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I could say, but I do agree with you. I think Vikings take it, and I think it's 3 to 7 point game.
Okay.
Are you keeping track of all this?
Yeah, I got you. So we can actually remember it because Gary never remembers who he picks, ever. All right.
They have to send me
the clips,
video evidence. Yeah.
All right.
Next one's Jags at Eagles. So I think both this game is going to be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game to watch.
But I do think that the Eagles are at home. You know, Jags are a good team, but they really haven't played a defense as good as the Eagles yet, I don't think.
And
so the Eagles
being at home is always good too. Playing the Eagles at home is not easy.
Those fans are crazy.
Yeah, dude, they're
game
out of this world.
Ago, and those fans are nuts. Eagles take it. I think it's gonna be close, 24-20.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely do think the Eagles will win. Obviously, I hope the Jags win, but I just think being at home, really good defense. I think the Eagles got it. I've got Seahawks at Lions. This is an easy pick. I got the Lions.
Please, thank you.
The Lions are a very good 1-2 football team. They lost by 4 points.
They're so unlucky, man.
They lost by 4 points to the Eagles week 1. They lost last week by 4 points to the Vikings.
They're going to be like the Chargers, I feel like.
Yeah.
But last year, the Chargers lost like 9 games by like less than 3 points.
I do have the Lions winning, and it's against the Seahawks. I mean, Geno Smith has not looked bad. Geno Smith can put up points. I think the Lions' defense is better than what Geno Smith has faced so far. So I think Jared Goff and the Lions put up 27 points, and I think the Seahawks put up 14.
Not a bad
because the Lions are one of the top.
I don't know what the score will be, but I think that the Lions.
Well, the Lions are one of the top scoring offenses in football right now, apparently.
Right.
So, but hey, hold on. DeAndre Swift is not playing. Actually, that may affect it. But
Jamal Williams last week was going off.
And
anyways.
Jared Goff still. I mean, he's playing good football. So I still got the Lions. I got a 27-14.
Yep, I agree with that. Bills at Ravens. Obviously, we saw what the offensive coordinator could do to a tablet after that Bills game.
He destroyed that tablet.
He smoked that tablet, dude. So I can only imagine what he's going to do to the Ravens defense. It is going to be a Bills bounce back game. Listen, every time I say it's going to be a bounce back game, I look so stupid.
Or every time you say something against Lamar Jackson.
I'm telling you, that Lamar Jackson video that they posted got like 5,000 views.
5,000 views, 46 shares.
It's so embarrassing. So, but dude, the Ravens defense is not that good, man.
It's not.
They played a trash Mac Jones last week and still gave up 26 points.
Yep.
So, I think that the Ravens defense is not going to be good enough. Bills are going to be annoyed about last week. I think Bills win 31-17.
Yeah, definitely. Jets at Steelers. Dude, I want
Zach Wilson, baby. He's coming back.
I want to pick the Jets because Zach Wilson, but I'm picking the Steelers. Najee Harris.
No, Zach Wilson's trash. Don't pick the Jets.
I think the Steelers' defensive backs will take advantage of Zach Wilson coming in, first start of the year. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick, obviously, TJ Watt's hurt, but I still think the Steelers' defensive backs are good enough, and I think they'll at least get one interception on Zach Wilson. And I think Zach Wilson will try to come in with too much to prove.
Is TJ Watt back next week?
No, I don't think so. Not yet. I think he'll be. He's. I think 1 week or 2 weeks after Dak is predicted to get back. So, but I got Steelers winning. I think. I don't know, man, because Joe Flacco's not playing, so I don't think Zach Wilson's going to play very good. I think 17-14. Neither team's offenses are very good. Not with Mitch Trubisky playing. So, I've got 17-14 Steelers.
I think this could be the game that you see Mitch Trubisky get pulled.
Yeah, I hope it is, because Kenny Pickett needs to play.
He was garbage last week. Like worse than the Saints. All right, next game is Cardinals at Panthers. We talked a lot about the Cardinals. My first bullet point for this game is both these teams suck. So, you can get tickets right now for this game for $17, people. You want to go to an NFL game? Go to this trash behind game. $17. So, Kyler Murray is better than Baker Mayfield. As much as we want to rag him. And Baker Mayfield seems like a passionate guy. Like, he wants to win. He's just not good.
He just can't. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. As long as it's not a double XP weekend for Call of Duty, right?
I don't know, man.
That factors into my decision.
I don't know if they do that two weeks in a row. If it is, the Panthers are winning. But
yeah. So I think the Cardinals. This is a game where I think that the Cardinals are going to be able to kind of pop off a little bit. I think it's going to be 30-14.
What?
30-14.
That high of a score?
Yeah, dude. They have the offensive weapons. They have the quarterback that's capable of doing it. He's just not doing it. That's why when I asked you if he's the future,
it's not.
The question is not. The answer is not that. He's not capable of being the future.
He's not.
He's just not.
He's just not the future.
He's capable of being a really good quarterback. I got him on fantasy, so if he doesn't give me some points soon, he's going to get dropped.
He's going to get benched.
But at some point, he's got to have a good game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 30-14.
All right. I've got Bears at Giants. I got Giants winning. The only two players that did correct the other night against Cowboys was Saquon and Daniel Jones. Everybody else was terrible. Offensive line was terrible. Receivers dropping passes. Defense was garbage.
Sterling Shepard out for the season.
Yeah, exactly. I still got the Giants winning. Saquon's good. Daniel Jones is actually playing really good football. He's using his legs, not like using his legs like Josh Allen when he was just barreling into people. Daniel Jones is using his legs smart. And Saquon is still playing good. 87 yards and a touchdown last week against a good Dallas defense. The Bears are just not good.
Dude, Justin Fields is the only quarterback in the league that's worse than Mitch Trubisky. Name a better or worse quarterback than Justin Fields.
Baker Mayfield.
No, not even close.
He said not even close.
Justin Fields is horrible.
Well, it was Trey Lance.
Dude.
It was Trey Lance before he got hurt.
No, dude.
Yes, Trey Lance was bad. Trey Lance was bad.
He's too new. He's too new in the league. Justin Fields is an established garbage can in the NFL.
Yeah. So I got Giants winning.
They need to trade for Joe Flacco.
I got Giants winning 24-10.
How are you just not going to react to what I just said?
What did you say?
The Bears need to trade for Joe Flacco.
Oh my gosh, Joe Flacco's about sick and tired of going to all these places.
To all these garbage teams.
Yeah, dude. No. All right, I got Giants winning 24-10.
I agree with you. I don't know if the score is going to be that big of a variance or if they're going to score that much in general, but okay. I agree with you that they'll win. Next one is Broncos at the Raiders.
Oh my!
If the Raiders are going to win, it's going to be this game because the Broncos suck.
They should have. What did Pat McAfee say? They should have paid that punter $235 million instead of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, seriously, dude. They lost by 1 point. Looks like, right? They lost last week.
They won by 1 point.
They won by 1 point. That's
right. Awful. It's because Jimmy G stepped out of bounds and got a safety.
Yeah, both teams played an absolutely like if I was the coach, I would have walked in and I'd be like, hang your helmet up. Y'all are doing laps.
Y'all are gone.
Like, y'all are doing laps. Yep. Go out and run.
You got Raiders, though?
I don't care if your ACL pops. Go out and run. Like, at what point? Like, dude, like, come on. Like, they suck. Both those teams suck. So, the Raiders, we talked about this already. They're unlucky. They can't finish. Whatever you want to call it. They have bad management. But I think that they come on top on this one, 21-17.
I got you. I can agree with that. Titans at Colts.
Boo. It's a divisional game, though, so
I got the Titans winning. They got to get Henry going. He's got 18 fantasy points for both weeks. Or for the first 2 weeks, he had 18 fantasy points. They got to get Derrick Henry going. The Colts win last week was not the Colts winning. It was the Chiefs losing. Can we agree on that?
Well, if I was a Colts fan, I'd be like the Bucs used to be and have a bag over my head.
Yeah.
A brown bag.
A brown bag. I got Titans winning. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to go 21-7. Colts are...
Dude, at this point, the Colts annoy me so much every time I look at them and talk about them that I would like to see them lose every game the rest of the season.
Every game. Titans 20...
And I'd be perfectly content because they made us look so stupid at the beginning of the year.
So stupid at the beginning of the year.
So what did you say your score was?
21-7.
Okay.
Because they got shut out by Jacksonville. Why can't they get shut out by the Titans?
We'll see. Hopefully Ryan Tannehill can keep the ball on his offense. All right, next, man. Some of these teams just suck so bad, isn't it? So annoying, bro. I just
so
some
bad.
Of these teams, I'm like, yo, like
it's okay. The Cowboys are the same way. Same way, dude.
I had 5 years of Jameis Winston, so I can
and it's okay. I've got my whole life of Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy, so it's a stress.
All right, Patriots and Packers. This is actually going to be a pretty interesting game. You saw the way the Packers performed against the Bucs. They won the game, but I don't think either team offensively played very well at all.
No, not at all.
And I think so. Mac Jones is hurt. If you guys haven't heard that, he's going to be out for at least a couple weeks. Brian Hoyer is coming in to replace him. Now, Brian Hoyer is career backup, but he's been part of the winning franchise for a long time. He's been a part of the Patriots for a long time. He's been a part of a winning team. So I think when Brady got hurt the season that he was out, Brian Hoyer went either 10-6 or 11-5. They just plugged him into the system and he did fine. Patriots defense is good. I wouldn't let last week fool you with what Lamar Jackson was able to do to them. I think the Patriots take it 17-10.
Absolutely not. This is going to be another reel, dude. This is going to be...
Dude, come on, dude.
Another reel.
Are you serious? You think Aaron Rodgers is doing anything?
Yes, man. It's Aaron Rodgers, dude. It's not like... Oh, my gosh. I cannot believe that you just said Brian Hoyer because he's a... What is up with you and these backup quarterbacks thinking they're all-stars, man?
Dude, Brian Hoyer went 10-6, or I don't remember if it's 10-6 or 11-5. Dude, wins the... Bro, come on.
Dude, okay.
He's better than Mac Jones.
I'm not saying that. You're telling me that Brian Hoyer is going to come in and outplay Aaron Rodgers.
No, I think Matt LaFleur is going to get outcoached.
What year are you trying to say that he went 10-6? That was Matt Castle, dude, not him.
Dude, it was Matt Castle, not Brian
Yeah,
Hoyer.
So you look like a fool right now. The Packers are winning. Brian Hoyer is hot cheeks. He played with Bill O'Brien oh my gosh. Dude. Yeah.
Dude, that's
you're out of this world that you just told me that Brian Hoyer is going to outplay.
Dude, he's got 10,000 career passing yards.
Hold on. He entered the league in 2009.
That's great.
Hey, if you look at 2018 when he played for the Packers, he had seven passing yards.
Last year he had 150 QBR. What can I say?
Okay, so I'm taking the Packers. Gary cannot change his answer. He is out of this world. The Packers are winning, and the Packers are going to win by a lot.
I cannot wait till Brian Hoyer throws for 372 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Okay, dude. Go. Actually, it's mine. I don't even. Dude, you got me off track with that.
If this gets reeled, I'm retiring.
It's getting reeled, and everybody's gonna see it again. Chargers and Texans. I got Chargers winning. The Texans, for me, they're just not there yet. The Texans aren't they're so close, to being a competitive playoff team, but they're close to getting to where they can win 6-7 games a year, but they're just not there yet. I got the Chargers. They're clearly the better team. The Chargers are, and I think after they got spanked by the Jags, I think they're going to come out and play a little better against a worse defense. So, Chargers, you're picking the Texans, aren't you?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, no way we're doing this.
Unless Brian Hoyer is playing for him.
Unless he's the starting quarterback, because Gary absolutely is obsessed with backup quarterbacks.
Dude, when Brian Hoyer was the starting quarterback for the Texans, he threw 2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 picks. Not bad.
He said,
Not bad at all. 91 QBR.
He threw...
For a bald head backup. That's not bad.
Dude, go to your pick, man. This is...
All right. Listen, dude, I hope the Patriots smoke the Packers.
I knew when you said...
I need another 38-3, people.
I knew
38-3.
When you said that Brian... I was like, Brian Hoyer, no way he went 10-6. That was Matt Castle, dude. I knew it.
Dude, they look the same. They're both bald, dude. What can I say?
All right, go to your next pick.
All right, Chiefs at Bucks. This is going to be interesting. Well, the only thing that's keeping me geared more towards the Bucks is the fact that the Chiefs have not played a defense as good as the Bucks yet.
It doesn't matter.
So yes, it does, dude.
Okay.
Yes, it does. They're in Raymond James. The Chiefs. Pat Mahomes played. Who did they play where he only threw 50 yards to Travis Kelce? The Chargers.
I don't know.
And I don't think the Chargers defense is as good as the Bucks defense.
I mean, listen, Mike Evans isn't suspended because he's not trying to,
Yeah, he's back. Yo, Tom Brady's throwing for 300 plus this game. You heard it here first.
I got the Chiefs.
I'm gonna say it every week, so eventually he throws for 300 plus, and I look like a genius.
I've got the Chiefs.
But he's throwing 300 plus this game. I got the Bucks going 24-17.
I've got the Chiefs, but opposite score. So I've got the Chiefs winning, whatever your score was. You're crazy.
Yeah, because you're a Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes fanboy.
Tom Brady is playing like garbage. And did you not hear what I said about Dak Prescott? I said we need to draft a new quarterback. I just said that Cooper Rush was not the answer this year. I don't want Dak to look any better than he already does. Okay? Or does not. We're
going to change the podcast name to Dak Prescott fanboy.
All right. Last game.
And then
dude, Gary, you just told me that Brian Hoyer is going to beat Aaron Rodgers.
He is.
So, would you tell me if it was the Patriots playing the Bucks, would the Patriots win?
No, because the Bucks defense is good.
But the Packers just won against y'all.
Yeah, because Tom Brady couldn't throw a ball if his life depended on it.
Dude, you're crazy. You're out of this world. I got Browns at Falcons. Browns are winning because the Browns' run game is really good. Now the Falcons have been putting up points every single week. Their offense is really good. I think Cordell Patterson got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. But I got the Browns winning. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are really good. And Jacoby Brissett is actually playing pretty good as a starting quarterback. So I got Browns. But it's going to be high scoring. 34-27. Both teams.
I don't think the Falcons are going to score a lot of points.
How?
Browns have a good defense. Is Myles Garrett playing, or is he still hurt from the car accident?
I don't know, man. I don't know. See, I don't know if they're letting people play after car accidents, but after they're letting play like Tua play last week, after he stumbled off the field, I don't know who they're letting play now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Browns defense is pretty good. I mean, they played the Rams, but they came back at the last minute. So
all right, dude,
we'll see. I think it's going to be high scoring from the Browns.
Give me your last pick.
This guy's so mad when I disagree with him. You also see his face.
I just picked the Browns to win. This man's crazy. I cannot wait until B-Man makes a reel out of you again.
Why am I the only one that gets roasted?
I got roasted about the Rams week 1 when I said, and also when I said Geno Smith was a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, why didn't anybody post that? That was the hottest take.
It was posted. It just didn't get a lot of stuff on it. You said Lamar Jackson was not the guy, and you're not going to go with him in any way, shape, or form. That's what you said.
For that week.
And he scored 40. You know how many he scored last week?
He took a fat L.
You know how many he scored last week? 44. Go to your last pick, dude.
They need to make a reel of him standing on the sideline looking at them score at the last minute and winning 38-35. Having that stupid look on his face that said, I just put up 40 fantasy points to lose.
He can't play defense, man.
I don't care, dude. All right. Rams of 49ers.
Oh, my God.
I literally have on a note that says Aaron Donald will eat Jimmy G for breakfast. So, Dude, I want Jimmy G to do well, but he's just
This is not the game for him to do well.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
He comes out and throws
we were so high on him when he came back in and won when Trey Lance got hurt. That man came sprinting on the field smiling while Trey Lance was getting smiling carted off the field. Dude, we were all excited to see him come on the field, and now he... Something's going on outside. Sorry about that. Now he can't even beat the Broncos.
He stepped out of bounds and
he pulled a Dan
Orlovsky from his freaking prison that he was in. I got the Rams, but I feel like Jimmy G's going to come out and throw.
Rams 31-20.
I feel like because we're saying this, Jimmy G's going to come out and throw 450 yards and 8 touchdowns.
He does that randomly.
Exactly.
Dude. Like, he has games where he throws like 12 yards and games where he throws 400. I don't understand it.
I just wish that B-Man would make a reel about something that we got right.
That's all I want.
That's all I want, because there hasn't. Hey, we're not doing bad, but I feel like I'm
26 and 22, and then for reals, I'm -2.
I feel
Are you serious?
I feel like he only shows our faults that we have. So
100%. That's why people don't download it from Instagram. They're like, these guys are stupid.
They go and say, "There's no way we're listening to their podcast." So, well. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. We kind of mixed 2 episodes together. Again, we did our our week 3 review and then week 4 preview for the game picks. And then we'll also have another one out about the fantasy football picks as well. We're actually doing really good on our booms and busts. We're pretty solid with fantasy football. So that's all I'm going to say. But again, thank you for listening to today's episode. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social media accounts. Again, we talked a lot about it today, but we got Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and then also remember that you can listen to us free on any major streaming platform, which is Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, and Spotify. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we will look forward to the next one.